Okay, let's take a look at the track. Before we do that, let's just do our usual little chat about tone and sound. You will notice that, voila, I have changed guitars. I seem to get things a little bit more authentic every time I do a Pink Floyd or Dave Gilmour style DVD here at Lick Library. And some of you, I remember there were some emails and comments when I said in the interview for Jam with Pink Floyd that I was pleased that I'd had an opportunity to re-look at it because I changed some of the fingerings. It's just as you explore deeper, you tend to learn a little bit more about the player. And one of the things that I always knew that he did was use a P90 guitar. So now here I am today playing my P90 guitar for this solo to try and get the tone a little bit more authentic. So this is a Music Man Axis Super Sport, and kind of lucky enough that this was a custom built one with nice hand-picked woods on the neck and the top, which I have to agree, it's very pretty. Coming out the guitar into the pedal board, I'm using the Script Logo Dynacomp MXR compressor, the little red compressor pedal. And you'll notice that I've switched from the drive gate fuzz. I've now got my Blackstar HT Boost. Dave Gilmour used to use the Chandler tube driver pedals, and the Blackstar Booster, the HT Boost, the blue boost as I like to call it because of the little blue bit behind the logo, that's real similar in the way that it works. So I'm using that on top of just a light, very light overdrive on the HT5 head. And I've got the ISF control, if some of you are familiar with this. I've got that a little bit pushed towards the British side of things. For the delays, I'm still using my favoured Echo Pro that I use for everything. And for that, I've changed delay from the sort of tape echoes. I've actually used a slightly later delay. I've used the dynamic delay, which is the TC Electronics 2290, which is a ducking delay. Dave Gilmour did use one of those a little bit later on, but it's probably a little bit early well, I don't even think they were out at this point, but I've chosen to use it because the delay doesn't get in the way too much, because it's quite a percussive solo. With the ducking or the dynamic delay, you know, when you're playing, it kind of sits back, and then when you stop, the delay will cut in. So when I go to do some of the nice the big bends that this solo is famous for, the delay will come in more, but when I go to the kind of funky sort of chopping sound, the delay will back off. So it's a very musical effect, and I like using this delay quite a lot. So I've got the neck pickup selected on this guitar. Like I said, we're kind of emulating Dave Gilmour. I think it was a Les Paul Jr. or something that he used with the P90s in. So now I'm going to play the first part of the solo through for you, and we'll break it down. Here we go. 1, 2. You can hear that nice woody tone I was talking about with the P90s. We start off by pulling off the C note on the B string at the 13th fret to the 10th fret. And then we go to 12 on the G, 10 on the B, and then we bend 12 up a whole tone, and then 10 on the B, 10 on the E, and then bend 13 up a whole tone on the B. It's all kind of around D minor pentatonic that we're playing. A little bit of Dorian added in here with the sixth in a couple of places. The whole groove is just over the D minor. There's C's and G's, and at one point there's a B flat as well played. This is all being employed by the keyboards or the Hammond organ. So that was the first lick. Now we have a little double stop. We come down on the D, G and B at the 10th, and then up on the G and the B at the 10th. And then we strike 13 on the B, bend it up a whole tone. And then we release it and re-pick and bend up 2 whole tones. So and release. That's where the compression helps a little there. And you can hear the delay coming in. And now the next lick is pull off 13 to 10 on the B, and then 12 on the G, bend up. Now we drop down to the 5th position, and we pull off 6 to 5 on the B string, and then 7 on the G. Back to 5 on the B, 5 up to 7 on the G, and then 8 on the B, and then jump up to 12 on the D, and then 10 on the G and the B. So you get that. Okay, here's the next section from the solo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Okay, to start that section off, I started off with the final lick from the previous section, which was the... Okay, now we have some kind of funky little chops. So that's 10 on the G and the B. We got a little... and then 12 on the D. And then 10... 12 on the G and the B, back to 10. Then we rake across the top 3 strings, and we bend 13 up a whole tone on the B, on the top E, sorry, then back down 13. Now this lick's quite hard, in fact it's very hard. We have to bend up 1 tone and then up another whole tone, then we release and we bend up 2.5 tones, so we go up to F, so it's, and then release and then back up again, so it goes. You can hear it's quite hard to keep that sustain there, so one more time. I just caught the string there, which is a kind of an occupational hazard of playing bends this big. One more time. That's better. Making sure that I mute out the other strings with my palm. Here's the next part of the solo for you. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, for that lick, we bend 12 up a whole tone on the G string, then 10 on the B and the E, and then pull off 13 to 10 on the B, and then 12 on the G, and then bend G up a whole tone and release, and then play 10, and then pull off 12 to 10 on the G, and play 10 on the D, so. And then play 10 on the G, and then play 12 on the D, and then we have, which is 12 to 10 on the D and the G, and then so for that lick, 12, 10 on the A, 12, 10, 8, and then 10, 8 on the A, and then 10, 8 on the E, back to 10, and then 8 on the A, 10, 8, 10 on the bottom E. It's kind of hard, so you're repeating a lot of licks. Let me play that really slowly. Okay, now into the next part of the solo. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so for this next part, we slide from 5 up to 7 on the D, and then 5, 7 on the G, and then 5, 6, 5, fast little triplet, 7 on the G, so that was on the B there, 5, 6, 5 on the B, and that's 7 on the G, and then 7, 5 on the G, and 7 on the D, so. And then 5 to 7 on the G, pull off 7, 5 on the G, and then 6 on the B, bend slightly sharp. So. Then up to 13 on the B, bend that up a whole tone, back down, whole tone, tone and 2 tones, back down, so it goes. Now we rake across the top 3 strings and bend 15 up a whole tone on the top E, and then 13 on the B, 13 on the E to 15 on the B. And then we slide into 15 on the B, and then 13 down to 12 on the top E, and then we are bending that 50, and then we release it on the top E, pull off the 13, and play 15 on the B. So when you get that note up, when you bend that 15 up, you're kind of releasing it down. Then we go up to 18 on the top E and bend that up a whole tone, and then we bend 20 up a whole tone, and then we pull off 20 to 17 on the top E, and a little mute, so, and do the pull off again. Here's the final part of the solo. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, for that final little phrase, we play 10 on the G and 12 on the D. We slide it up a whole tone. We have a couple of little mutes. And then we play this C triad, which is 14 on the D, 12 on the G, 13 on the B. And then 12 on the G, B, D, G and B. And then change the positions. So that was probably your first finger to start. So we slide. And then we change and play it with the third finger. And then play 10 on the D, G and B and bend slightly sharp. Then we have 10 on the G string and play 12 on the D, pull off to 10 on the D. And then we slide from 12 into 10 on the A, and then play 8 on the A, up to 10, and then 8 on the A, down to 10 on the bottom E. So that whole part, a little bit of palm muting there as well. Make sure you really work on the groove of this solo. The solo is about space and it is about groove. It's just demonstrates another side of Dave Gilmour's playing. Obviously, there's kind of quite a lot of that kind of funk guitar present throughout during the rhythm track of the tune as well. Anyway, that pretty much concludes the tutorial. So now I'm going to play the solo through again for you, this time at a medium tempo. So here we go, and hopefully you can begin to play along with me.